Denise Hunt on Mello FM.
Welcome back, guys. Folks, we're having great conversation with Mark Johnson and Dee Murphy. They're both gospel recording artists, and they're here with us this morning. So, you know what I want to jump to? I want to jump to the first time I saw you guys. I was like, where them hot man you come from in the place? Because we're at an ISCF event, and I'm, lots of teenagers and stuff, and I'm like, I walk and me never say hot, me say hot. Let's talk about the look of the artist, because if I looked at you, I mean, forget that I'm supposed to be born again and Holy Ghost saved, water baptized, and look at you, I'm like, yo, stylish and neat, and your things set trim and that kind of thing. Is that deliberate? As a gospel artist, do you have an issue with the image that you put out there? Let's start with you, Mark Johnson.
If I'm trying to reach young people, then, I cannot be in a bush jacket with a big belly. If you're going to if you're going to Spain to evangelize, talk to somebody, you have to be talking their language. You have to be talking something that they can understand. You must be able to, and deportment is a part of that.
Okay.
Deportment, the quality of the sound, the style of the sound, everything comes together and connect. And one of the things I want to mention also is the quality of life. And I think earlier before the break, we were talking about Kevin Downswell gaining access into many of these places. One of the things I found, because I'm close to Kevin, he's a good friend of mine, is his authenticity. What you see on stage is what you see backstage, is what you see off stage, is what you see away from the stage. And over time, people see that. Because remember, we're spirits. Exactly. We're spirits,
Yeah.
Human beings are spirits. And so we can know over time, you can trick the crowd for this long, but no further. After a while, the true you is going to come out. So I found that it's not only your music that gives you access, but it's who you really are.
Okay.
It's the music introduces you.
Okay.
And then people get to see you.
Yes.
Okay.
So the deportment now is a part of all of that.
Dee Murphy, you're a young married man. How long have you been married?
4.5 years.
4.5 years. Does your wife have any input in how you look, how you present when you go to perform someplace?
Oh, most definitely. She plays a vital role. I mean, I've developed a style of my own. So what I'll do is there's sometimes we disagree, but if I put something on her, she's like, babe, that don't work. I can't come out of the house. There's no negotiating.
Yes.
I cannot come out. Because she will get up and she'll take it and put it down somewhere else and say, watch, you find something else.
Yes.
And sometimes that's when, like, in the nights, like, it works if I have, like, a church event or if I have a major event, then that calls for preparation, because you have to represent Christ well.
Yes. Well, let me play advocate for the other side here. People would look at that and say, but they're being vain. Pay attention to what them have on for whatever.
That's a naive view.
You're putting your clothes forward. Who cares about it?
That's naive.
Tell me why.
It's limited. Yeah. It's suggesting that there are parts of you that don't matter. There are parts of you that are irrelevant. Okay. And what I bring to the stage is not music. I bring me. Okay. That's what I bring to the stage.
And you're a complete package, including the clothes you wear.
Exactly.
So, my question is, if you pay attention to the full package, including the physical, including the sound, production and all of that, what separates you from the secular artist?
Content is what we're saying, is what we're representing.
So you're hoping people will listen?
Yeah.
Are people listening?
Yes,
are you guys getting the bookings? Are you guys getting the calls that, that as you say, Mark Johnson, keep you relevant and get those bills paid?
Well, for me, I'm just starting out, so the bills, my music is taking care of the music bills.
Okay.
Right? I'm otherwise employed 9 to 5 in operations management. That is taking care of the other bills.
Okay.
Yeah. But over time, again, it comes to purpose. Over time, you see, one of the things, Denise, that we must recognize is that life is a process.
Okay.
And because God is unfolding a purpose, it's very important for us to go through the process. Because frankly, I wouldn't want to get a Grammy today, because getting a Grammy today would have robbed me of the process. When I say Grammy today, I mean literally today.
Okay.
Yeah, today.
Okay.
And I'm more interested in the process, because process will bring product, and product will bring, everything else that comes with that. Yeah. So I'm focusing on the process. I'm doing my vocal training. I'm doing my recordings. I'm doing my bookings. I'm going through the process, because over time the process authenticates what you're doing.
Okay, D. Murphy, are your bills being paid by the music? Or you have other options? Like Mr. Mark Johnson options. Because me gonna tell him right now, so I'm afraid for fly. It's a question of your faith, Mr. Johnson.
No, not at all.
I'm just playing advocate for the other side. Are you holding on to?
It's a process where I have an idea.
Of course, the process.
I mean, I've been doing music for a couple of years. So I've started doing it full time for like 3 years now. And what I've done.
So you get married 4 years ago and then say to your wife, boy, I'm going to leave that little work here in a car. Yeah, I mean, I get a calling.
The work now.
Yeah.
And what I've done since then is I've been traveling independently as an indie artist, traveling independently, and I'll go to like Canada, go to the States, and I'll tour. And that pays the bills, because then you get way more support, you way more money for an event.
A prophet is loved more outside of his country.
And it's a bigger
market.
It's a much bigger market. You see, again, there's a business
Jamaica
aspect to the whole thing.
2.7 million?
Yeah, but look here, we have more churches per capita, they say. I'm going to have more rum bar too. That's a different story.
More mature churches.
And not only that, more churches is not an indication of the size of your market. Because
why not?
You have
a kingdom.
No, but who's paying for your music?
The church people, who comes out to see your shows? Who comes out to see your shows? Not Christians? I'm asking. I don't know.
Let me ask you this question. Could we have a secular version of Shaggy and Friends?
I think yes. I don't see why not.
I think it's the mentality of
Jesus cheap.
No. Some of his followers don't believe.
This is my conclusion. Because too many of us have a misconception of God. We have a misconception of money and where it's placed, and the purpose of it. And if we have a misconception of money and the function and purpose of money, then we will have a misconception of all the things relating to money. So the general church population of Jamaica believe that it's probably wrong or bordering on wrong to have wealth. And so we have
sinful.
It's sinful to be wealthy. It will take you from God. If money takes you from God, that's you have an issue.
Yes.
Money or God doesn't have an issue. You have an issue.
Yeah.
So because that mentality is widespread, you find that not many church people are in business. Not many church people are creating jobs and creating wealth and applying business principles. And that is why when you look at secular and you compare it with gospel music, secular music artists are deemed more successful financially than gospel, because we are not applying the business principles. Because we think that ministry is not business, doesn't involve business, and so you'll be playing for your church and your pat on the back and say, keep praying for the Lord, brother.
Yeah, God is using you.
God, you understand? But this guy's married, he has a family, and this is his livelihood. He's a musician. Why can't he be paid a proper salary for it? Because we have a misconception of money. And that's the problem. Therein lies the problem. That is why I don't see church people, and I don't mean, and I'm not disrespecting my brothers and sisters, but I find it difficult to wrap my mind around us purchasing a ticket for $30,000 to support any cause.
D. Murphy, does that deter you at all? Does that make you feel discouraged at all from pursuing this artist life?
It does not. I had this conversation with my wife the other day.
Yeah, me have the conversation with the wife too, because look here, baby, and them something, their house and these things.
And I remember we had the conversation, and I think it went a little something like this, because we were watching somebody and they were doing music for quite some time and they still had not got half grown and all that.
Yeah.
And she's like, babe, give this thing 5 or 10, and we'll probably have to do something else, And I was like, but what we've done is we've started, we have a event planning and decor company called M-Style Events.
Say again?
M-Style Events.
Okay.
And we also have a microfinance company that we have right now, along with D. Murphy Ministry. So those help to pay the bills. But as I think as Mark was saying, is that sometimes we have to be careful, and I tell every young artist or young minister that will come to me and say, hey, Murph, we love music and we want to go into music. I say, watch this. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
Make sure so you know what you're getting yourself into. Because along with the financial aspect of it that can be the constraint and all them stuff, you'll book, for example, I'll get called for a show. And if my price is $50,000 for a track show, then them going to say, really?
Yeah.
But a ministry, you know,
yeah.
And it's a little fundraiser we're having, you know. And I'm like, I have a fund I want to raise too, you know. So
it's called family and life.
Exactly. Yeah. But so when a lot of times when some ministry, I won't tag every church ministry.
Right.
When some ministry call you, the first thing is, okay, we're having a fundraiser and we would love for him to pass through and to minister, and they won't give you anything. If they give you food, you're lucky. You understand?
Okay.
So it's from a church perspective, and the needle, the camel and the eye is that scripture is what a lot of preachers abuse and keep and have people feeling like, okay, so if I'm poor, that means God's with me.
And that could be tomorrow because churches are just not having that business mindset, right?
That's what I'm saying. And we don't have that business mindset.
If they were running the churches as a business, they could generate more income to serve the kingdom in a more sustained way, right?
The scripture says, let us make man in our image and likeness and let them run earth. We have not wrapped our minds around that passage yet. And that's why so many things are misplaced.
Finally, as we wrap up here on Mello FM, great conversations, guys. Mark Johnson, you first. What do you want to say to Christendom? How should they view gospel artists? The next time they think about going to an event, how should they be viewing a Mark Johnson coming to perform?
First of all, you have to consider a value exchange.
Yeah.
It must be a value exchange. You're asking me to come to your event to add value to it. Really sincerely look at what kind of value exchange you would like to have, you would like to engage in. Because frankly, I'm really, really hoping that I will never ever have to say to a promoter or a church, wherever, I can't come because your price is not right. I'm hoping that I will never have to do that. But I'm open to that possibility where we have to negotiate because it's business.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong when I say it's business. Ministry has a business component. Oh, yeah. It's not selling the word, it's not selling Jesus. No, that's a very limited and uninformed view. You know, it's a wrong way of looking at it. But in the ministry, in the execution of the ministry, the carrying out of it, there's a business component.
There are costs.
In the very same way, you are having a Christian evangelistic event where you're having, gospel songs played and you want people to come and spend money. That's business. You're engaged in business. Yeah. Look at the value exchange.
D. Murphy, how do you want Christendom to view you as a gospel recording artist?
I mean, first and foremost, I'm a good person.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm a Christian, so everything that comes out of my mouth should line up with me saying that I'm a Christian or a follower of Christ.
Yeah.
This is a difference.
Yeah.
I really want when somebody think about D. Murphy, or you think about booking D. Murphy, or you think about going to see D. Murphy at a show or a ministry, when you come, you're not just getting a few songs. My thing is, people give me 10 minutes and I tell people, give me a time. Don't give me 2 songs, 3 songs, or a half a song. No, because how God functions is every time I go and I do a concert, I am so excited because guess what? Oftentimes I will plan something in my head and then I'm like, okay, when at the end of the night when I see what God does, I'm like, wow.
Yes.
I can't believe that.
He always does that.
Yes. Always. He was so huge.
And so even the other day when I had the EP tour and we're going across the island, and I was doing every night when I showed up at a different location, I would say to the band, watch this. We've rehearsed some songs. I don't know what God is about to do.
Yeah.
But guess what? We're going to have fun tonight. Because if people can see, I was talking to my sister-in-law, my niece, I was joking at the hospital the other day, and I was like, I don't get white people, if to be under the influence of the Spirit, I have to look ugly. I have to have a strophe. Oh, hallelujah. I have to be bawling.
Overly serious.
The joy of the Lord is my strength.
Yes,
and joy comes with a smile. Joy comes with looking pleasant.
Yes.
Joy comes with having manners.
Yes.
That is what D Murphy Ministry is about. So when you see me, I'm jovial. I love to smile because I don't plan on looking very old.
And you
soon.
have on a T-shirt that says, "Sorry, not everyone can be me." Thank you very
Exactly.
much.
I'm awesome.
All right.
Dude.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. That's where we're gonna leave it this morning. Mark Johnson, thank you. D Murphy, thank you. It's been truly a blessing.
Awesome.
We really had some great conversations here on Mello FM, folks. We'll be right back.
Saturday Sizzle loves, blesses, and encourages on Mello FM.